All right, man, peace. You know, brothers, I've cited this line from the film Training Day before. But to me, Kawhi Leonard, he truly embodies the line that Ethan Hawke told to Denzel Washington in the film Training Day of you always have to protect your smiles and your cries. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have. And people want to know what makes you tick so that they can try to manipulate you. Kawhi Leonard does not let people in, so therefore, they're flummoxed by him. He makes them feel uncomfortable because he does not allow himself to become transparent. Therefore, the media is relegated to actually having to be professional with him as opposed to taking what he says out of context and creating all these false narratives. Well, in the aftermath of Game 2, it's very obvious to me that the Toronto Raptors are not going to go away because their leader, Kawhi Leonard, is not going to go away. He's extremely stable-minded. So, of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Mark, first question right here.
Kawhi, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Can you take me through the final possession where Iguodala hit the three? There was about 5 seconds left on the clock when he took it, 8 seconds left in the game, and he wound up being wide open, and the plays that took place before it where you guys almost stole it.
Pretty much summed it up right there.
Yo, Kawhi does this a lot, too. He clowns these reporters a lot. What these reporters will do is they'll go through an entire scenario. They will list play-by-play what happened, and then they'll ask the player to do the same thing. Kawhi always does that. He did that to Ross Gold giving Woody. He said, you pretty much ran through the situation, what happened. So, or he'll say, like I already said.
We ended up trapping Curry. I was playing two. He ended up passing to Livingston. Almost got a steal. And then, I really didn't see where Iggy came from. He came up. Livingston found him, and he knocked down a shot. Big shot.
Did you want to see the ball in his hands in that situation compared to anybody else on the floor?
No, we wanted to see it in our hands. We wanted to get a steal.
That was Kawhi making a joke. He almost laughed for a second. His top lip quivered for a moment. He said, we wanted to see the ball in our hands.
Robert on the right side.
Robert Littal, BSO, right here at Kawhi. What is the key, in winning on the road in such an important playoff series in the final?
What the hell is this brother wearing? What is on that blazer?
In the finals, you've done it obviously before. What do you consider the key when you go on the road, especially now that you guys are 1-1?
Just coming in as one. You know what I mean? Obviously on somebody else's home floor. They got the 6-man with the crowd, but we just have to buy into ourselves.
This series is not over, especially if they can get a couple of good games out of that nut job Kyle Lowry. He's going to be the difference because I expect Kawhi to pretty much be even-keeled and therefore be the same throughout this series for however long it lasts. But Kyle Lowry is going to be the difference, and I've gotten into many arguments with many people over the last few years about Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, to me, is a great backup point guard on a championship level team. He's not your starter. Just my view of it. He's not a starter, but he's such an overachiever that he fools people into believing that he's a top level starter in the NBA. And that's why even many of his peers voted him the most overrated player in the league because they know what they're looking at. Guys like Chris Middleton, Kyle Lowry, they are outstanding overachievers. But when faced against top competition with players who are more athletic and more naturally gifted than them, it's always going to show. They're always going to come up small.
And, come out hard, strong, no mistakes, no turnovers. And, the same thing you got to do at home.
Third row here in the center.
Hey, man.
No nonsense doesn't quite capture
Hey, man. This guy, I could do this at the press conference. That was the best. That was awesome. That's awesome, right?
Did you want it in his hands?
No, we want it in our hands. Take me through this play. Well, they took the kind of sums it up. No way. You just told me what happened. Why you asking me? Comedian, I know. Wait, would you want the ball in his hands? No, I want it out.
I feel like someday we're going to learn that he's been pranking us.
Kawhi was joking, but none of the people in the audience, none of the media members picked up on it because he was saying things that a lot of players think. Players know when they're getting asked stupid-ass questions by reporters, and they want to say it, but they don't want to be fined or they don't want to be viewed as being difficult with the media. Because Kawhi is so deadpan, a lot of the things that he says, a lot of the smart aleck shit that he says, it goes over the head of the media.
No. I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he is. But I'm going to tell you something. To me, he's the perfect superstar. No drama.
None.
It's never, obviously stuff in San Antonio, that's water under the bridge. Mm-hmm. But, like, that guy right there, if he's leading your franchise, it'd be perfect.
Kawhi Leonard has already proved himself this year. He directly led his team against two of the top 5 teams in the entire NBA, in the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks, and he was by far the best player in both series. Now he's going against one of the great dynasties in the history of the league in the Golden State Warriors, and we're going to find out if he's able to lead his team to a championship in these playoffs. It's going to be one of the greater feats in the history of the NBA. It is going to be one of the greater feats in the history of the NBA, being able to take down a dynastic team with as much talent as they have, even with KD hurt. Please understand that if they field a team of Steph Curry, Andre Iguodala, Klay Thompson, DeMarcus Cousins, and Draymond Green, they're still going to have 5 players who have been all-stars at some point in their career. Now, of course, Iguodala is no longer an all-star level player, but for brief moments, he can play at an all-star level, especially on defense. So right now, the Golden State Warriors, they are going to have to bring everyone together to try to win this series, because the Toronto Raptors have a lot of talent as well. They have players who are still in the developmental stage, like a Pascal Siakam. But Pascal Siakam, he has great potential. Like, he has the potential to be a Scottie Pippen-esque player. He plays extraordinary defense. He's a little shaky on offense, but I can see him growing in that spot. He's a relatively streaky three-point shooter, but I think that he's going to improve there. Kyle Lowry is an all-star level player, even though I think he's overrated, but he is an overachiever, so they put him in all-star games. Marc Gasol is a former Defensive Player of the Year winner, and I believe that he's made the all-star team a few times. So this is going to be a challenge for Golden State. And I think that if Kawhi is able to pull this off, and I say it's going to be one of the great achievements because this is his first year in Toronto, a team that has been known for coming up short and having mental breakdowns while they do it. So he's brought so much stability to their franchise. It really is almost incalculable what he's brought to their team.
Low maintenance. He's a professional. You know, your culture is going to be right when your best player does things the right way. And I agree with Chuck. He is
perfect. You talk about no maintenance. You talk about lead by example.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a vocal leader.
He might not know if he's in the room.
But I love it, though. But but
on the court, you definitely know he's there.
You know he's there.
As a teammate, you're going to come out and play it.
Yeah. Look at the clock is on to your big.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. We'll see how Kawhi Leonard fares in Game 3. I would love to see him win a championship, if for no other reason, to see him be able to stick it to Greg Popovich, that phony-ass super liberal Caucasian who's been trying to fool the entire league for a very long time now. It is what it is. So peace.